has changed dramatically from the, well, we're not ready to issue mandatory evacuations tone that we heard when we pulled in last night. Last night when we got here, the city was pretty much the business as usual. Let's say probably 20% of the businesses here in Gulfport were boarded up. It's increasing now. Most of the traffic is on its way out now. It's not, the sense of urgency is definitely here as well, and then obviously residents are concerned. So we're going to be setting up today. Actually, we're heading out right now. Actually, I have to go here in just a second to Waveland, Mississippi, so we're going to make our way over there and get some equipment set up there, evaluate whether or not we think it's going to be safe to stay where we're planning to stay at the Waveland Fire Department, and then we'll make a decision on where we go from there. If that is unsafe, we do have alternatives here in Gulfport, and again, we're just going to have to wait and see where that goes. But again, we're going to be deploying the equipment. We're going to try to get it set up today. We're actually going to turn it on late tonight, and then we're going to go late tonight or early tomorrow morning, depending on how much time we have tomorrow morning. And then we're going to hunker down and wait for this thing to come in. So, well, once we get on the road here, I'm going to let me call you back once we get on the road, and I can give you some more details on what we're going to be doing.
Great, Mike. Thank you very much for calling in, and we hope to talk to you, a number of times here. We understand you're busy and you're tied up. We don't want to distract you from being safe and whatnot, but we certainly appreciate your time because of the hurricanes to hit the United States ever at this point, and thanks again for coming on. So, okay, thanks, Mike.
All right, Paul, we'll be ready. We're ready now, and it's just a matter now of getting this thing documented and measured, and we're going to be busy with that, but I'll be checking into it today.
Very good. Thanks, Mike. Stay safe. Say hi to Mark.
Will do. Thanks, Paul. Take care, everybody.
Okay, that was once again Mike Watkins, a great contributor to the show. In fact, he's more than a great contributor. He's a GM of the station, so he's really does a lot for us here, and he's involved with some pretty interesting stuff. They're getting some incredible information out there. Mike, did you have some more information? Are you there right now? I know we want to rebroadcast. We'd like to rebroadcast possibly when the president speaks. I guess I thought we were going to be busy doing that. I was going to suggest somebody to record it so that we could rebroadcast it. But what you wanted to add?
Is there anything to add in this situation? This is when the president of the United States speaks. I mean, a lot of people, and it doesn't matter, whether or not you were surprised by it, but I was surprised because the only disaster I ever thought of in my mind of the president speaking about would be that big one for L.A. or an asteroid that would be the big one for Earth. I never thought of him speaking for a hurricane, and this is something that is going to unfold. And hopefully everybody's out of the warning area. Let's get everybody out. There's nothing, we can't prevent what's going to happen along the Gulf Coast, okay, from this Category 5 storm. What we can prevent is who's going to be taken into the sea. And that was something that people did not want to hear with Camille. And this is so similar to Camille. A track towards the Florida Panhandle that generally shifts to the west, comes on shore. This hurricane heading to any plans of action should have been put into effect already. And let's just hope everybody is safe from this hurricane, as I mentioned before, because when this hurricane comes on in, boy, it's going to mean business. So may God bless anybody in the path of this, and I hope that they were prepared and ready for this, because here it comes. We have Dave Toleris in the studio, DT. We're watching the next Hurricane Camille unfold.
Yeah, I think we are. I think it's a pretty fair. We have to point out that Katrina is quite a bit larger than Camille ever was. It's a significantly larger hurricane. Camille was a teeny, well, not teeny, but it's not a massive hurricane as it goes. And Katrina has really exploded in the last 24 hours in terms of its actual mass. The Titanic eye it has is clearly what they call a annual hurricane, one of those special type of events. But I'm beginning to see some things here which I think the Hurricane Center is missing, and I promise you with the track, it's clearly not doing west-northwest. I don't know where that's coming from. I think the Hurricane Center is feeding way too much New Orleans, similar to Tampa Bay from Charlie last year, and they really have to adjust the track here. In fact, not only is Katrina going to have a second landfall, it's going to have a third one, because it's going to cross the mouth of the Mississippi River southeast of New Orleans and then make landfall either by Pass Christian or Biloxi, Mississippi. And I think we're good. I think the fact that it's turning, in my opinion, it's doing north-northwest now. I don't even think it's doing 310. I think it's doing more like 325 or 335. And, I think it's going to pass east of New Orleans by quite a bit. Will New Orleans see hurricane force winds? Yeah, because it's such a big hurricane. But I just don't see a direct hit New Orleans at this time.
Yeah, I hear you, DT. That's it's the gradual turn took so long that people could easily be deceived as far as where it's actually going to come in. I mean, these things are going to do a recurve eventual also. So, the expected turn off to the east and the northeast would be no surprise whatsoever. The model certainly hinted such as the recurve over towards the right. So that path you mentioned is a double landfall. That's a pretty serious path nonetheless for New Orleans and Lake Pontchartrain, because that is going to push up. It's going to have just that much more of an opportunity, being it's going to be south of New Orleans and crossing through there on the north-hand side. That water's going to be pushed directly up into the lake and up the mouth. And, that's not funny when you get it pushed up in the mouth of the Mississippi. And we've been talking about it all morning, Dave. It's just we're flabbergasted. People have been commenting. I mean, this is incredible on how it really bombed out and has increased in size so much. I mean, now we're talking about 105 nautical miles out from the center of hurricane force winds. Yesterday at this time it was 45 miles, and now we're talking about 205 nautical miles out for tropical storm force winds. Yesterday, it was 150 at this point nautical miles, so it's grown quite a bit. In fact, even yesterday morning, a few hours, just 36 hours ago, it was only 85 miles, and so it's a really, like Mike said, I mean, we've been talking about this all morning. You can talk about where exactly it's coming in and all that bit, but really it's almost a moot point here. I mean, it's coming in. It looks like it's going to be a major Category 5 hurricane. There's not much to see it actually weaken here, and even if it does go through an eye wall replacement, if it's anything like yesterday's eye wall replacement, all it was a little pressure change, and that was pretty much it. It just it's so much larger and stronger now. There's just not much to change the intensity, which is really the unfortunate thing, because it's inevitable. It's coming up there, and it's going to affect a large area, but it doesn't look like it's going to come up there and weaken rapidly by any means. In fact, in the last discussion they mentioned it's going to be a hurricane 150 miles inland. And this is going to be a serious situation for and areas that haven't experienced anything like this in quite some time. Absolutely. What do you think about the intensity, Dave? Are you expecting it to continue to be the Cat 5 at landfall?
I see it getting I see it as a 4. But the pressure's so low now and it's moving so fast, I might not. My forecast, which is on the website, has it going in as a borderline 4-5. So I've got the pressure like 925, something like that. And I think that's reasonable. I have it between 925 and 929, something like that. So it's a borderline 4 versus 5, a mighty hurricane, doing terrific damage to the oil platforms, I feel. And I do anticipate New Orleans seeing hurricane force winds. I got no problem with that at all. I just don't think they're going to, if Biloxi's getting 175 mile an hour winds and New Orleans has 78 mile or 82 mile an hour winds, you can make a case that New Orleans dodged this one. That's everyone's. It depends on how you want to spin it and how you want to say it, but I think you can make that case. The 12Z models, and I'm sure everybody has seen them already, they're tightly clustered along the open mouth of the Mississippi River. The GFDL shifts to the right, the UPenna shifts to the right, and that clearly show a landfall much closer